Good evening everybody and welcome to Barber Motorsports Park for rounds 5 and 6 of the Chazlington Touring Car Championship. The cars are currently out on track at the moment, just doing their first qualifying laps. Apologies for not getting started straight away, just had a bit of an issue with OBS being OBS. But it's looking like the usual guys at the top. We've got a couple of new guys in tonight. We'll just hop out onto track and see what's what. And I'm joined in the commentary box this evening by Mr. Christian Rose. Shifty, how are we doing?
Good evening, mate. Yeah, really good, thank you. Looking forward to a really few exciting races tonight.
And of course, this track, very seldom seen layout. Don't often see people driving on this one, so a lot of these guys were caught off guard when we announced what was going on. But they seem to be handling it quite well, don't they?
Yes, no, the times are looking super close, especially at the front and in the midfield. As you said, it's a very unused track amongst the service, but a fantastic circuit to go racing on nonetheless.
I'm currently looking at Jon Robertson, who was making us laugh quite a lot in practice before. I'm not sure whether I can get back to it or not. Now, this is going to start looking a bit unprofessional. I'm going to get the iRacing user interface up on here because we need to, honestly, you need to see what Jon Robertson was doing in his practice. Here we go. It will just jitter for a second. Look at this for an entrance. Don't ask me how he did that, but yeah, he's been doing that for a couple of laps this evening. You can see at the moment it's currently this man on pole position, Jake Blackhall with a 57.865 for CQR Club. Josh Thompson for Thrustmaster Mivano is second at the moment. Jon Robertson third, Ben Gregory is fourth, Pete Newman fifth, Ashley Blake Hood, he's back this week, he is sixth at the moment, Steve Burke seventh, and Jon Roberts in 8th. Dan McAuley, championship leader, just pulling over there. He's not having a great time so far, Shifty. He's down in 12th.
No, he's not set lap time yet. This is his 4th lap, so maybe he's coming across a few issues, maybe a bit of traffic here and there, or maybe just a few mistakes. But just quickly, Jake Blackhall's lap time, 57.865. That is just over a tenth faster than what he managed in practice, which is fantastic to pull that out of the bag in qualifying and provisionally have him on the pole position.
Yeah, it'd be good for us boys, obviously, both driving for CQR already. We'll be happy with that, as we are obviously happy about Dan leading the top of the standings. Just going to bring the championship standings up on your screen right now then. Dan McAuley does lead the way from 1 point from Ben Gregory. Magic Sakovic third for Team Mad. Steve Berkey got a win in race 2 last week. He is 4th in the standings. Jake Blackhall 5th. Morgan Butler 6th. Ben Palmer, who isn't here tonight either, he is in 7th place. Jon Robertson, there was actually a bit of a question after last week. Jon Robertson couldn't get into the second session of the evening, unfortunately. So what we did was we came to a compromise and we gave him points as if he would have finished in 10th place. Now, there were 2 drivers that took place in that race of 10 cars that did not finish, but we still classified him behind them, but still gave him the points for it, just as a bit of a compromise. Everyone was happy to agree to that. Then round out your top 10 in the championships, Tom Jacobs and Jon Roberts. It's really tight though, Shifty. I think so far there's 38 points between the top 10. I mean, you get 25 for a win, so still pretty close to be fair.
Yeah, which is what we really want to see. We want to see a nice close championship fight. Say with this specification of racing, it's always going to be no one's going to run away with it, in my opinion. So yeah, you're always going to have a nice variety of winners and losers, so to say. But yeah, no, it's going to be. I'm sure it's going to be right down to the wire.
Yeah, it should be good fun. Just looking at Billy Rose at the moment, who hasn't set a time yet. I think that's been the issue for Dan and Billy, is that they've not set times because of getting incident points. That may be the issue.
Yes, so I see that Billy's just going on to his 10th lap in this session, and with just under 30 seconds left on the clock. Hopefully he can get a lap time on the board.
Yes, it's always about getting that banker lap in, isn't it, I suppose? You've got to be careful how you say it, but you've got to make sure you get one on the board, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you get a lap time on the board, you sort of think, okay, I can now really push the limits of what this car could possibly do.
Just looking at Dan McAuley now, we're on board with him. He's, well, the checkered flag has just come out. Jake Blackhall's just on the fastest 3rd sector of the session. Don't think he's improved though. Robertson's done a personal best, but he doesn't improve his position, so he will be 3rd on the grid for this race. Very interesting, because Jake was saying earlier he thought he was going to run away with it, did Jon Robertson, not to inflate his ego at all. Pete Newman 4th, that's good for another one of our teammates there though, Christian, he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, that's a very late lap, right at the death, and yeah, let's put him in a very good position for the start of this race.
Dan really looks like he's struggling here, mate. Not going to lie to you, he doesn't look comfortable at all in this Subaru. He's going to be having words with us tonight. Why have you done this to me? He crosses the line. He does put it 8th though, 59.3 ahead of Jon Roberts, Taylor Lane, Magic Sakovic, Josh Rayfield, his first night out tonight. Bouncing the VW Beetle off the limiter, getting those extra practice laps in, as you, well, you need to. It's like I say, it's a strange specification of racing. We don't often see it, so yeah, it's good that it's going well for some of these boys. But it's good at the same time though to see people try and adapt, isn't it? Because it isn't something we'd normally have on iRacing going on.
No, especially not on the not on circuits like this. Yeah. So it's a really unique experience for the drivers out on track, and something they're definitely enjoying.
Yeah, they certainly are. It looks like they're having a good time with it anyway. We're going to go to the grid now just to see what the final order is then. So you've got Jake Blackhall and Josh Thompson on the front row there. Only, well, not even a tenth of a second covering those pair. Jon Robertson is 0.16 of a second back from Jake. Pete Newman there, half a second down from the pole sitter, so that just shows it's almost like people always call it Formula 1.5, don't they, in the midfield? It's like that here, really. You've got Ben Gregory in 5th, Ashley Blake Hood 6th, Steve Burke 7th, Dan McAuley 8th, as we just saw then, ahead of Jon Roberts and Taylor Lane rounding out your top 10. Then it's Magic Sakovic and Josh Rayfield. Now, I'm going to do this to you straight away, Shifty. Who's going to be your pick for this one, do you reckon?
I think Jon Robertson, if he gets a good launch, is going to be very tough ass to bet against. Well, very good in these rallycross cars.
Indeed. Here we go then. You can see Jake getting it ready to get off the line. And there is that launch from Jon Robertson that you mentioned. Down the inside of Josh Thompson into turn 1. Going to keep our eyes on the middle of the field as well. See if there's any contact. Looks like everyone's got round okay. Josh Thompson retains second place though. He's defended it well. Jon Roberts losing a place. Josh Rayfield losing a place. Ben Gregory's had a torrid start. He's lost 3 positions already. He's down to 8th. Dan McAuley's gained 1. Ash Blake Hood and Steve Burke are the other 2 beneficiaries of it. But Jake Blackhall leading the way currently. Josh Thompson second.
Back of McAuley.
Oh, he's not going to be happy with that. Oh, Dan comes back across. He's made contact with Roberts. Now Taylor Lane's in the middle there as well. Championship leader on the grass in last place after all that. Majek and Billy Rose are off.
Crashing.
Yep, Billy Rose is around there. I'll just take a quick look back at what's happened there. Oh, they just got into each other, avoiding all the mess that was going on ahead of them, to be honest. But it was bound to happen. They were about 5 wide at one point. That's Josh Rayfield coming back on after an incident. But Jake Blackhall then, first lap Shifty, he's kept it up front, but it's those top 3. And, well, they're trying to drag Pete Newman with them, but yeah, it's understandably the top 3 breaking away.
I say they're trying their very best to keep the fight amongst themselves. Pete Newman doing his very best to stay amongst it, but also wary of the 2 cars behind him that are extremely close.
Biggest gainer so far is actually Taylor Lane in 7th place. He started 10th on the grid. He's done a fine job. He's got Jon Roberts behind him now and Ben Gregory. Oh, Jon Roberts going for a proper drift through the hairpin there. And, well, he's lost the place to Ben now. He's on a bit of a recovery drive here. He's second in the championship, but as long as he finishes ahead of McAuley, he should be all right, shouldn't he?
Well, you think so. There's still a very long way to go in this race. I've just noticed that Steve Burke's made his way past Ashley Blake Hood for 5th position. Fantastic little scrap they've had over the course of this lap.
Yeah, I'll just take a quick look back at it now. Go on board with Steve. He's chasing him down to what normally would be the hairpin. Pulls out on the left. And, oh, he's just a bit later on the brakes. Ash gives him plenty of space, to be fair to him. And it's a nice clean pass to get it done, so well done to Steve. Back up to 5th. He's gained 2 places so far. Of course, race winner last week at Lime Rock Park. Robertson does the fastest lap of the race, though, here, Shifty. So he's going to be closing down on Josh, who's actually going for an attack here on Jake Blackhall. They're side by side. This is going to just play into the hands of Jon, surely.
That was an inch-perfect move from Josh Thompson there. Absolutely clinical. And Jon's going to be looking to find his way past Jake as soon as possible as well.
Going on board now through this very tricky final sector, actually. You'd think in cars like this as well, it'll be an absolute nightmare to get around these last few corners, wouldn't it? Because it's going sort of over a crest and away from you, then it's on camber, then it's off camber, there's big curbs, it'd be a nightmare.
I think if it was me, I'd just be inclined to pull the handbrake and just floor it around every corner.
Get some style points for it.
Yes, exactly.
Well, John's got a bird's eye view of this right now. A front row seat, sorry. He's run a bit wide there because he caught the grass. So Jake and Josh are going to try and get away. That sounds like the big name of a program, that, Jake and Josh. I don't think they'd want to stand it so close to each other in a studio for so long. They'd probably annoy the life out of each other, but oh well. Into the chicane they go. And you just see how patient these guys have got to be with these cars. It's really weird to watch in a way, isn't it?
So we were before the qualifying session started. We were speaking to Jake Blackhall, and he was talking about how the tyres initially went away, but as the run went on, they came back to them. So maybe that's something that we're going to see. They're going through a rough phase now, but then it might come back to them.
Yeah, you'd hope so for their sake. Driven a race stint in these cars before, and it's a nightmare. Jon Robertson there showing that it is a rallycross car, and you can put it on the grass.
He's putting some immense pressure on Jake at the moment.
He really is. He's not letting him get away, is he? But Josh Thompson, though, leading the race, doing a fine job in his debut.
Oh, well, this is fantastic news for Josh. If John and Jake keep battling, Josh is sitting pretty at the moment.
And he certainly is. The Evolution Racing Team driver. I do apologise to John. I did have him down as Apex Racing Team last week, although on the form that he filled in, he wanted me to put him down as Evolution Racing Team. So apologies, John. You've got the right one this week. Just trying to look now. The closest two, well, I was just about to say, closest two cars on track according to my timing screen are Ben Gregory and Taylor Lane. They're side by side out the chicane into the last sector of the lap. It's the Beast Racing Volkswagen on the inside, just getting rid of the overlap there. Taylor defending well here for 7th place. Ben Gregory, beautiful cutback though, down the inside. That little nimble Fiesta seems to have been the car of choice for most, but Taylor still defending here, Shift. He's doing a cracking job of this.
Yeah, he's really making Ben work for this after his poor start to try and work his way back up the order, but Taylor's doing a fantastic job of defending his position at the moment.
He's just putting it on the line where he needs to have it, really, doesn't he? He's making Ben work. And Ben will be loving it, though, because he does love a good scrap like this, and it's great for us to watch as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic to watch.
And Jake Blackhall has succumbed to the pressure of Jon Robertson. John finally gets it done into the left-hander. Now he's going to try and go hunting down Josh Thompson. And we're only 5 minutes of the way through the race. I mean, it sounds like a lot already, but it's only a third gone already.
Yeah, plenty of action though. So long may it continue. And now this is when Josh Thompson will start to come under a bit of pressure, I think.
And it's not. Unfortunately, I'm going to highlight this for them. It's not a great night if you're a Northern Lights Racing manager or driver. Although Josh Rayfield and his teammate Billy Rose are having a lot of fun here through the chicane, tandem drifting almost, banging into each other and loving it. They're 13 seconds down on Magic Sakovic, but they're having a whale of a time by the look of it. That's what matters. That's what we're here for. Oh, big bit of contact there between the two of them. Taylor Lane and Ben Gregory still scrapping away though. Taylor's still defending this place. He's kept it for about, I think it's 3 or 4 laps now actually that he's been ahead of Ben. So fair play to the lad. He's doing everything that he can at the moment. He started streaming recently, did Taylor. You can see his wonderful face on his Facebook page as well now. So long may that continue as well. He's a good lad, is Taylor. Very funny bloke. But Ben won't be finding it too funny right now though, will he, Shifty?
No. As I say, he's really stifled his pace since he's struggled to find his way past Taylor Lane. He's the longer he's sat there, the more frustrated he's going to get because you can just see the cars slowly edging away, which is always going to make his job to score points even more difficult. Looks like he's going to get a good run out this final corner though.
I was just going to say then that Dan McAuley is slowly catching Jon Roberts, but Jon Roberts has dipped into the pits, so's Magic Sakovic. Now, Jake was saying before to us that it may only be one pit stop, as if there could be more than one. It's a bit of a longer lap here. I mean, it is a minute, but I'm not sure whether these guys might actually need 2 stops or not. If they're pitting this early, they're not quite at half distance yet. So
well, that's what we like to see, is it? And a nice bit of variation of strategy,
yeah.
up and down the order. I think that unless we see the top cars in this lap, they're probably just going to do the one pit stop and try and hang out to the very end of the race.
Yeah, they may do. And to be fair, I think Magic's just overshot his pit box a second ago then as well. He might have sped in the pits because he's on the brakes quite soon. So hopefully he didn't get a penalty of any sort. I want to talk about Dan McAuley. He's down in 9th at the moment. His championship rival Ben Gregory's just got in the pit lane ahead of him, but he hasn't been really making strides so far. I think he's really struggling.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his lap times. They're a bit up and down. Let's see what it is when he comes across the line. The time is a few cars ahead of him. Take to the pit lane. 59.7. So what's that compared to the drivers up front?
His best was a 59.0.
Yeah, Josh Thompson's last lap time was a 58.8. So that shows just how much Dan is struggling at the moment with the car or the tyres.
Just looking at the places gained, Taylor Lane 4 positions gained so far in this race. Still the biggest mover and shaker, as our friend Tom Jacobs would say. But yeah, that Subaru does look like a bit of a handful. But I don't really want to say it, Shifty, but first and second are Subarus.
Don't see that too often, do you?
No, especially, well, I don't think Dan will be happy me highlighting that. Steve Burke and Taylor Lane in the pit lane. Let's change it. Oh, Steve's hit the pit wall and he's rolled it. Has he stuck it? He's managed to get it back on the ground. I'll tell you what, he's having a nightmare season in the pit lane, is Steve Burke. He sped in the pit lane in the first race. Actually, I think he jumped the start. Then he took tyres in the second race at, the first race at Lime Rock, and now he's done that.
It's a very strange incident.
It's almost like Coulthard.
Pit lane. Yes. What was that? Adelaide 95, I think.
It was.
Leading the race as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That was an absolute disaster for the young David Coulthard at that time.
Indeed, his jaw was still about 6 feet wide at the time. Closest cars on track then. Ben Gregory is, well, on the grass. He's jumped Taylor Lane in the pits though. Maciej Sakovic all over the back of him, although he's just gone wide. Steve Burke goes through. I think Maciej's a lap down actually. He was back in the pits, so he must have had a drive-through or some sort of stop-go penalty for speeding, unfortunately. As we look back, Josh Thompson's doing another lap here, Shifty, so some of these guys might have pitted early and hope for track position.
Yeah, so Jake Blackhall just goes very, very deep into turn 1, loses a bit more time. Josh has managed to eke this gap out to just over 1.5 seconds, so he's done well at reeling off the lap times. John was a tiny margin faster last. Who's that spinning round? Just in front of Josh Thompson.
Yeah, I don't know if it was...
No,
it was Billy Rose, yeah. Billy Rose is giving it a bit of a spin. We'll have a quick look at what happened to him there. Is he going to just pull the handbrake for style points? Yeah. He rips the handbrake, nails it. Oh, and it dips a wheel on the grass, and as he tries to fling it the other way, it just goes around, bless him. They're having fun out there in the Northern Lights, boys. They're here for the spirit of it as Billy jumps into the pits.
Lots of cars take to the pit lane.
Jon Robertson, Jake Blackhall, Pete Newman. Second, third and fourth, Josh Thompson, another lap out in the front at the moment here, Shifty. I don't know how much fuel he's got in it, but must be doing something right. Dan McAuley hasn't pitted yet either. They're going to be the last 2 cars to pit, and Dan's going on for another lap as well.
Just looking at Josh Thompson's lap times, and they are incredibly consistent. With it last 4 laps, all within just over a tenth of a second, and that is...
it's hard to do.
It's very difficult to do, especially in one of these cars where tyres are all over the place. But if you want to win races, you need to be very consistent with your lap times.
Yeah, you do, definitely. And I mean, in a GT car, with Josh, of course, very talented lad as we know, not to blow smoke up his arse, but it's obviously more understandable in a consistent GT car, for example. But something as non-conventional as this, you wouldn't expect that. Like you say, the tyres would be all over the place because they're not made for this sort of thing. But he's in the pits now then. It'll be crunch time to see what happens. Dan McAuley making his way into the pits too. And with only 3 minutes left of the race, it's going to be crunch time for Josh then. Jon Robertson coming down the straight now. Apologies.
This is going to be very close.
Yeah, it is. He's just coming out now is Josh Thompson. Go on board with Jon Robertson there. You can see Josh ahead into turn 2, and you can see Jon's really pushing it to try and catch him, and he's run wide there. So Josh Thompson retains the lead of this race. Dan McAuley is just coming out of the pit lane now. He's dropping down the order, of course, because he pitted late. You can see Steve Burke there, and I think that's Maciej Sakovic still a lap down, but Steve Burke's chasing Ben Gregory here, actually, Shifty. So this could be a nice little spicy battle towards the end. Steve's had great pace in these cars, to be fair, hasn't he? He's done really well.
Yes, a lot. Last lap time, 3 tenths faster than Ben. I'm not sure if Ben had a issue at any of the corners, but yeah, no, Steve's been super fast tonight, which is great to see.
And I'm sure he'll be happy with it as well. His teammate Tom Jacobs, unfortunately, not with us this evening. He's had commitments elsewhere. We wish him all the best, of course. Magic is he's tipped Steve in the rear there. I don't know if Magic's just wanting it to have a front row seat to watch this battle, but he got a little bit too close for comfort there. He's ahead of the Northern Lights cars still, but yeah, maybe a bit uncalled for.
And a potential position change for 9th spot, Taylor Lane, Jon Roberts. John's been faster over the last couple of laps, so let's see if he can reel in the rest of that advantage and try and get a move done.
Yeah, it's a shame really. Taylor was doing a great job with his pace earlier defending. Maybe the tyres have completely gone off. He might have killed them with that. But this battle between Steve and Ben Gregory is the one to watch at the moment. Steve has a look down the inside. Gets it back on the racing line. Takes plenty of curb there. His racing lines look a lot smoother than Ben's here. Ben seems to be a bit more erratic on corner exits. Steve's just really smooth. You can just see him sort of gradually fainting left to right, and the car looks like it's doing exactly what he wants it to. Ben's a bit more sideways and slidey. Well, great stuff by both of these. It's been a decent recovery from Ben, to be fair. He was at the very back of the field.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear why the start was that poor. It just doesn't seem to make much sense to me as he runs rather wide on the exit.
I think
Steve's got fancy stuff to have at lunch here, surely.
Yeah. We'll go on board with Mr. Burke. There's going to be one more lap after this. Gregory on the grass into turn 2. Steve's got the cutback. There you go. Still side by side. We go off the onboard camera because we can't see Ben, and he's got it done. Beautiful stuff there, Shifty. That was really opportunistic, that.
Now we're going to see a comeback from Ben down into the hairpin.
If you know Ben Gregory, it's what he's going to do.
Oh, he's gone late on the brakes.
Great stuff
Steve
not to make contact.
Well, yeah. Good racing room left.
Yeah. Oh, and it's actually the final lap of the race. So Josh Thompson takes the win in his debut. Fantastic stuff from Josh for Thrustmaster Movano. Jon Robertson, he's going to do one of his 360 entrances to turn 1. He keeps it out of the wall. That's absolutely... He still makes the apex and some. Jake Blackhall finishing the podium, smashing into Billy Rose there at the end of the straight. Pete Newman, good debut. He was very under the radar in that one, wasn't he, in 4th place?
Yeah, no, just sort of kept himself to himself. Didn't seem to get into any scraps, but yeah, so a good haul of points for his first out.
And Ashley Blake Hood there in 5th. There was another incident involving Ben Gregory and Steve Burke across the line. There's more cars crashing. Taylor Lane comes flying through. Jon Roberts on the gravel onto the grass, back onto the circuit, backwards, and, well, chaos ensues. But, yeah, what a brilliant race that was. Fantastic first race of the evening. Just going to get the results up for you now. Just waiting for everything to be all fine and dandy. And there you go then. Josh Thompson takes the first win of the evening for Thrustmaster Movano. Jon Robertson in 2nd place with Jake Blackhall in 3rd. It's a podium that we pretty much would have predicted from the get-go. Pete Newman 4th. Ashley Blake Hood, a great 5th place for Team Mad. Steve Burke in 6th for Team Lizard Motorsport. Ben Gregory, nice little comeback there for TechSense Fitstein Motorsport in 7th. Dan McAuley in 8th. He'll really want to rely on this reverse grid to get a good result in race 2. Taylor Lane is in 9th with Jon Robertson 10th. Magic Sakovic is 11th. And then it's the Northern Lights cars of Josh Rayfield and Billy Rose bringing up the back of the field. Now at this point, what we're going to do is, while we are on the stream, we're going to do the reverse grid draw. It's not something that's visible, unfortunately. I don't have a fancy wheel or anything like Apex Racing TV do. But what we have is Excel to figure this out for us, because you can do random formulas between 2 numbers, which is what you always want. So cars 7 to 13 are eligible for the reverse grid. That will mean Ben Gregory all the way down to Billy Rose, as you see on the results screen there, are available. I'm going to do a couple of rolls to do it first, of essentially what is a dice. And we bring out 12, 7, and then we're going to do the 13th, sorry, not the 13th, the 3rd one, which brings out number 8. So that will put Dan McAuley on pole position here, Shifty, with Ben Gregory alongside him and Steve Burke. That should be a belting first corner, shouldn't it?
Well, this could really make or break Dan's evening.
Yeah.
He's got a great opportunity from the reverse grip pole. So let's see if he can run a bit more pace in this one. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. Fingers crossed for Dan. Then we will be well. What we're going to do, I think, is just go away for a few minutes, get the race session sorted, and we will be back with you in about 5-10 minutes. Don't go away. Thanks for watching so far, everybody. We'll be with you in about 10 minutes time, if that, to be fair. Just getting the second session set up right now. Oh, you might let this drop. Sounds good. Good. Listen to this. If anyone can tell me which of my YouTube videos this is from, they get a championship point. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. You don't really. Only a couple more minutes and we'll be back with you. We're just getting into the second race session now, so just give us a couple more minutes and we'll bring back Shifty as well and we'll get on with it.
Certainly am. I don't know. Let's. I'll leave that down to you.
I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for this. I'm alright. How are you? Slippery. Wasn't. No, to run with it, please. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of grip out there. Let's put it that way. I found myself in a bit of no man's land, to be honest, because I came into the pits and then I came out in a 4-second gap ahead of me and a 2-second gap behind me. I was just lapping to make sure I didn't fall off. Hopefully, Well, yeah, I mean, it's good to bring home a 5th place for Team Mad. Always nice to race for those boys. I don't do it often, so, bring out the team colours. They might be pink, but we love them anyway. Ooh. Don't discuss colours. Mm. Drive it like the Kia if the Kia was on steroids.
I don't think that's far off, to be fair.
No, it understeers like fuck until you put your foot down, and then it goes whee and tries to kill you. It's great fun.
Loads more power, and you got a handbrake to use as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I've just been told by Mr. McAuley, and I apologise to everyone on the stream as well, that my microphone was muted, so it sounded like you were talking to yourself there, right?
Standard evening then.
Yeah.
That's a normal Monday night for me.
Apologies for that, everyone. Well, practice is going on now. Got a wonderful looking, well, it looks like a very tasty sunset going on at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot more grip out here tonight in this lower light and lower temperature. It's definitely going to be a quicker race. If nothing else, might get an extra lap.
You never know, you never know. What was the fuel like in that one? Because we found people pitting early. We didn't know if they had to or not.
No, I pitted because I clipped the grass on the last corner and it kind of fired me off towards pit entry. So I was like, okay then, I suppose if I'm going that way, I may as well.
Yeah, if you insist,
What?
Grass.
Exactly, yeah.
Fair enough then. Well, we'll leave you to it, mate, to get out and practice for this one. But yeah, all the best for this one.
It's alright, I've got to get in the zone now. Put my glove and my helmet back on. Helmets? How many have I got? Enjoy the rest of the meeting. We will put on a show, I'm sure.
Good stuff. Cheers, mate. Speak to you soon.
Cheers.
Sorry about that, everybody. I do apologise for my microphone being muted. Ash isn't mad enough to speak to himself all the time. This is looking like a good one, though, Shifty. We've got a decent couple of guys at the front. Dan McAuley, like you say, it's make or break time now.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be not too happy with how his race one went, so he's going to be looking to put that right in this reverse grid race. Hopefully, he's going to be wanting to get away clean from the start and hope that absolute chaos ensues behind him, so he can just streak off to an easy win. But we don't want that. We want a nice, interesting fight.
Oh yeah, it'd be good for him to have a good scrap up front. His teammate Morgan Butler isn't here tonight, unfortunately, either. We send our best to Morgan. Hopefully we'll see him next time round. Just on board with Dan McAuley now. Just chasing down Steve Burke, and even on board, this looks really nice in these low light settings. I do have it set on dynamic sky, so no one knows what the weather is going to be like. But yeah, it's served up a corker for us here as they come over the hill. The track reflecting beautifully. And that's been one of the sort of main things since iRacing's update in December, hasn't it, really, Christian? It looks awesome now, really, really does.
Yeah, and it's a lot more noticeable in the longer endurance races, the 24-hour races, like the Nürburgring and Daytona and Le Mans, which is in a few weeks' time. That's where this update really, really comes to its own, because the driving around Le Mans at 4 or 5 a.m. and just seeing the sun start to rise and the track getting a bit warmer. That's fantastic, and it just looks absolutely astounding as well.
And it's also interesting that it affects the circuit so well as well, and that's one of the things that really iRacing has properly nailed in comparison to other sims. I mean, we've spoken before about how drastically the temperature changes, but at the end of the day, you can feel it when you're driving, and I think that's a good thing. I'd rather it be like that than not be, too dumbed down so you can't feel it. What do you reckon?
Exactly, that just adds the extra variable, which, as a driver, you don't really want, but as a commentator or a spectator, it just makes it a little bit more exciting, because everything's just thrown up in the air again.
Yeah, it certainly is. I've got only half a minute of practice left now then, just looking at Jon Roberts. Giving it a bit of a slide into the last few corners there. It's one of them really in these cars where you know you're going to run wide, so if you do, you just, as John's doing now, whack the handbrake on. Nice little drift there through the final corner, and just got to have a bit of fun with it, haven't you? And that's why we're here. Just looking at the... Oh, Josh Rayfield has stopped in the Northern Lights Volkswagen Beetle. Now him and his teammate Billy Rose are going to be starting from the back in this one as well, so they'll be hoping to make their way through. Jon Robertson giving it more drifts on stream. He's the pinnacle of car control tonight, is Jon Robertson. He's going to 360 it here as well, and he disappears just at the last moment, unfortunately, because the race is about to start. So, for the second time tonight, we will run through the grid. Obviously, we've had 8 cars reversed, so that puts Dan McAuley on pole position ahead of Ben Gregory. Steve Burke joins Ashley Blake Hood on row 2, with Pete Newman from CQR in 5th and his teammate Jake Blackhall in 6th. Wonder whether Pete can do something to help Jake out here to bridge the gap to Jon Robertson and Josh Thompson, that very strong 4th row of the grid. Taylor Lane is 9th, with Jon Roberts rounding out your top 10. Then we have Maciej Sakovic in 11th, who unfortunately had that penalty in the last race. Josh Rayfield 12th, and Billy Rose at the back of the grid in 13th. So for the second time tonight then, Shifty, who's your bets on here?
I'd like to say Dan's going to win this race, but with the pace that Josh, John, and Jake have been showing tonight, this could be really interesting.
Well, the lights are coming on then. Looks like Steve Burke hasn't taken to the grid in this one, unfortunately. And away they go. Dan gets a fantastic launch off the line. He's absolutely gone by turn 1. Jon Robertson's down the inside. Oh, Jake's been hit off. Jake Blackhall is off and wide and rejoins back down in 10th place. Looking further up, Josh Thompson's pretty much pushing Jon Robertson around there. They're on the outside of Pete Newman. It's all gone Pete Tong for CQR now, though. They're not going to be able to protect each other here when, well, one of the Northern Lights cars flying off in the background on the grass. Nearly 3 wide into the chicane here. But Jon Robertson is already up to 4th here, Shifty, and Josh Rogers? Josh Rogers isn't in this race. Josh Thompson's trying to go with him.
Yeah, the launch that John got there was equal to the launch that Mr. McAuley managed. He's not really pulled away much from Ben Gregory, though. They've got a slight gap to Ash Blake Hood in 3rd place. But Dan's really going to be wanting to kick on. This is where the race will be won or lost for him, really. He's got to build a nice early gap.
Yeah, Jon Robertson there just getting a fantastic run out of the final corner. Breezes past Ashley Blake Hood. And these cars are all on equal setups. They're on fixed setups that we have sorted out ourselves. They all have the same top speed, but that Subaru, it's just all about the momentum and how you limit the wheel spin. But Jon Robertson making it look easy at the moment. He's going to go chasing after Ben Gregory. Looking back down the field at Jake Blackhall now then, he's managed to gain a few places back so far. He's 7th overall. Pete Newman and Ashley Blake Hood having a great scrap there with Josh Thompson just behind them as well. So these boys haven't let off at all though, Christian. It's just complete kick-off straight away, and that's why this formula works, I think. Not to toot my own horn or anything. I know BSR did it before me, so apologies, boys. But yeah, I think it just works well because it's straight on the gas. It's 110% from the get-go.
Yeah, they're not hanging around at all. Josh is going to be trying to get past Pete Newman and Ashley Blake Hood as soon as possible to try and get on level terms with John here.
He's really close into turn 1. He's trying to follow Pete through there, and he's done it as well. Blake Hood goes down another position, unfortunately. Fastest lap of the race by Jon Robertson, 57.0. Look at the pressure that Josh is trying to put on Pete here. Great shot there of the cars all sliding out sideways from the right-hander. Jake just behind them there trying to put a move on Ashley Blake Hood. Oh, and there's incident further down, I think. There's cars around. Yeah, it's Billy Rose is off onto the grass on the inside. I think he might have had contact there, a bit of help.
Jake Blackhall's off big time.
Oh, he's off in the trees. Really off in the trees. We'll have a quick look at what happened here. Go on board with him. He's chasing down Pete Newman. I think he's got a car on his right. It's Ash Blake Hood. Oh, he just clips the side of him and the car's sideways. And yeah, it's very difficult to save once it goes around. He's now chasing down Jon Robertson. Josh Rayfield are all over the grass. Looking back at Jon Robertson then in 3rd place. Josh is up to 4th now, so he's overtaken Pete. But yeah, John's closing in on this lead pair now. Dan McAuley still out front. Ben sticking with him, but you can just see in the background there the ominous Evolution Racing Team driver, Jon Robertson. Do you reckon he's still going to do it? Do you reckon he might have it in the pits? He may have a bit more experience with how much fuel he needs, I suppose.
Yes, well, That last time round, Gregory, Robertson and Thompson all lapped within half a tenth of each other, just a couple of tenths faster than what McAuley managed. This is shaping up to be a fantastic scrap for the win.
Yeah, hopefully hopefully there's no sort of major mistakes or anything. You can see Dan just trying to keep it smooth around there. Jon Robertson blinking in and out a little bit there. Pete Newman, another sort of under the radar drive. He started 5th, he's still there now. Magic Sakovic has done a good job.
Yep, running very, very solidly in 7th spot at the moment.
He's gained 4 places, chasing down his teammate Ashley Blake Hood.
Lap times are very, very good as well.
Yeah, he's doing some right good pace, to be fair. 58.0 there. His teammate runs wide around the long right-hander. The Team Mad Boys are going to have a bit of a scrap here, are they? Getting very close together. Differentiated, of course, by the different coloured wheels. Still nice and close together. You can see Jake there in the background, recovering from his earlier incident with Mr. Blake Hood. But Jon Robertson now.
McAuley's wide.
Oh,
Gregory to the lead.
Yep, there goes Ben Gregory. Dan's going to try and get the cutback. Whoa, Dan straight into the side of him. I don't know whether that was a payback for previous contact or something, but Dan absolutely sent him up the inside. Ben's coming back at him, more contact. They're rubbing down the straight. This is 3 wide. Jon Robertson is on the outside here as well. He's going to be laughing his head off if he gets a place out of this. John chucks it in sideways. How he doesn't make contact with either of them there, I don't know. How has he done that? Josh Rayfield's not involved. Josh Thompson around the outside. This is madness. Dan McAuley back to the lead. We'll have to have a quick look at that that contact with Dan and Ben there, because I don't know whether that was on, if I'm honest, but Dan completely shoved it up the inside.
And while we're looking at that, Josh is just setting up the inside of Ben Gregory. Does he get it stopped? Yes, he does. Josh into 2nd place. Robertson round the outside of Gregory. He's into 3rd. Ben Gregory's the big
Ben's
loser,
off.
and he's off the track.
We'll have another look at the move now. Apologies for missing it. Here we go then. Josh sends it, like you say. Josh really sends it on Ben Gregory. Runs wide. Great cutback. Fantastic cutback by Gregory, but the contact sends him wide. And Jon Robertson, that was almost a mirror image of what happened with Blake Hood before, you know.
More contact between Gregory, the recovering Ben Gregory, and Jake Blackwell in the final corner. It's been an awful lap for Ben Gregory. He's dropped down to 6th.
Yeah, he won't be too happy with that. I was just looking back at the contact with Dan. It didn't unsettle the car too much, to be fair. It didn't really it didn't chuck Ben off the track. Bit muscly from Dan, but you'll have to see as Josh Thompson goes down the inside of Dan. Now it's the 3 Subarus for the lead. Who would have thought it? Josh Thompson trying to get the run. It's the 49 and the 41. Dan's still on the inside. Jon Robertson's just hanging back here, really, playing it safe, I think. Don't think he wants to get too involved.
He's just hoping that they'll bump each other off the track and he can just cruise into the lead.
Squeezes down the inside. How he got that stop there as well, I don't know, but that's fantastic from Jon Robertson. And he's now got to try and chase down Josh. They're both showing us exactly why these have got rally tyres on. We're not even halfway through this race, though, yet, Shifty. This is fantastic to watch.
This is... And the Magic Sakovic just pulled into the pit lane. He was just having a great scrap with Ashley Blake Hood. Again, Ashley is having a fantastic battle as he just runs wide. Curse the commentator. He's just run super wide at turn 2. But he's up to that point. He was having a great run, minding his own business, avoiding all the chaos. He's still going very well in 4th place.
Billy Rose is up to 6th. Pete Newman is in 7th. He is the highest placed of all the cars that have pitted so far. The rest of them coming out now. Magic Sakovic, Ben Gregory, Jon Roberts. They're all coming out the pits together. But it's this scrap for the lead that we're going to have to keep our eyes on, I'm afraid. It's Josh Thompson leading the way from Jon Robertson. Dan McAuley hasn't dropped off too much, though. He'll be happy to stick with these boys. He's probably just checking out their lines and seeing what he can do to get the most out of that Subaru. Ash Blake Hood in the pits then. We'll keep an eye on him for you then, Shifty, so we can see how this battle continues. They're actually cocking wheels coming into the pit lane there. And of course, these things don't have pit lane speed limiters, so they have to be really careful going down here.
Yep, it's just not old school racing cars. They have to modulate their own speed.
Yeah, that's what they have to...
Just an extra challenge, really.
Yeah, they can do it themselves. You don't want systems to do it for you. And getting them stopped into the pit box is quite interesting as well, because these things have got a lot of issues with engine braking in lower gears. Pete Newman's gone through. Blake Hood down the pit lane. Oh, dab of the brakes there. Does he go too quick? Where does he come out then? There's his teammate, and there's Ben Gregory. round the outside. That was nearly a massive accident. He cuts back, tries to get it. He's contact with Gregory. He's around and he's in the wall. But because it's a rallycross car, whoa! He nearly takes out Jon Robertson as well. Oh my God! I'm surprised.
It's all gone wrong for him in the last couple of laps, isn't it?
We're gonna have to watch that from Jon Robertson's point of view. I'm surprised the back of that boosted car's not brown now. Never mind green. You can see the incident just out of the window on the right. You see Ash go into the wall, and you see him go over, and then Jon goes through. Oh, there was a touch. There was actually a touch. I don't know how Jon kept it going, but awesome stuff by him. Josh Thompson still leads the way then. Can he make it 2 out of 2 tonight, Shifty? What do you reckon?
It would be fantastic for him to do that. He's still under a huge amount of pressure from Jon. But another one who's quietly going about the business after a poor start, Jake Blackwell. Currently running a fourth. I think he still owes us a pit stop, but pace is really good.
Yeah, he's just got his head down, hasn't he, now to just get on with it. He showed great pace in the first round with Ben Palmer. Unfortunately, he wasn't around for Lime Rock last week. He's going to do another lap in the Fiesta. He was a bit angry, actually. He was talking to us, wasn't he, beforehand about the fact that he took tyres in the second race at Brands Hatch, so that's why he fell down the order. But he's doing all right now. Like you say, he's just going about his business, isn't he?
Exactly. Just watching Ben Gregory and Maciej Sakovic at the moment. It's very, very close going to the final few corners. Ben's alongside him.
Oh, that was really, really close there. Look at Ben trying to open up the corner now, get the wide line, get the exit. Maciej blocks him off.
No,
Still side by side. Oh, look at them go. Side by side down the straight. Into turn 1. Oh, a bit of a tap on the front end, but that just shows you how easy it is to unsettle them here. Well, Ben's getting knocked about a bit tonight, but he's having a good time with it, though. I know Ben enjoys a good scrap, so he'll be having fun.
As Robertson McAuley takes to the pit lane.
Oh, Robertson.
Thompson carries on.
Robertson's sliding it on the brakes there. Jake Blackwell's coming in as well. So what we'll do at this point is we'll stick with Josh Thompson then. And we'll see where these guys come out. It'll be interesting, actually. We'll go on board with Pete Newman, who's coming through the last final few corners now. Out the final corner he goes.
Rolling.
See just how far behind Pete is from these guys, see whether he can see them. He's gone past Blackhall. You can just see McAuley coming out ahead of him there as he runs wide through turn 1. We go back to Thompson. He's just finishing his lap here. It's a shame about Steve Burke, actually. He didn't actually get involved in the race at all.
Yeah, I thought he was going to have a good... He had really good pace in the first race. I'm unsure what's happened here, but... Yeah, it's a great shame. He would have been a really, really key player in this race.
Definitely. Josh had a fantastic pit entrance then. He was on the limit then coming in. You've got to wonder
I'm still keeping an eye on this Gregory and Sakovic battle. It's still raging on. Maciej is still managing to hold Ben Gregory off. Ben is looking absolutely every possible angle to get by, and he gets a good run. There's contact.
Oh, that's the second time. And is he going to wait for him? No.
Oh,
right. For the second time. For the second time, Jon Robertson's pushed the a Team Mad car the right way again, and well, those two are going to be fuming really after that. Not sure who that was on, to be honest, but importantly, the race leader is still Josh Thompson. He's got a 1.5 second lead now. And I was just about to say Billy Rose is putting pressure on Jon Robertson, but he's a lap down. But he's still up there in the fight. So Subaru 1-2-3 at the moment, though. There's Billy Rose giving it some style points in front of Dan McAuley. I'm sure Dan will be laughing a bit at that. Well, there's only 2.5 minutes to go now, so not long for Jon Robertson to get this job done. We're going to have a look back at the Ben Gregory and Maciej Sakovic incident. So Ben has a go. He gets a great run out the corner, to be fair. And yeah, I think the thing is with these cars, when they're washing wide and then coming back, it's difficult, you know, to sort of stop it from wobbling around a bit. And I think Ben had the decent run enough to get alongside, and it was just the fact that they caught wheels. And the second bit of contact was what really turned Maciej around. So I don't think the second bit of contact was on Ben. But yeah, I'd go for racing incident on that, if I'm honest with you. The two Team Mad teammates still together though. But Josh Thompson, race leader. Only a couple more laps to go here, and yeah, like like Ash was saying before, might get another lap out of this one because we had 15 laps last time. We've got a minute and a half now, so yeah, we should get another lap and a bit. Taylor Lane is in the pit lane and has been for a considerable amount of time. Just trying to see. He's been in for most of the race, it seems. Actually, 7 minutes he's been sat in the pit lane. He jumped to the pits. What happened to him? Oh, the car just slows down. He just pulls off, unfortunately. Not quite sure there. Dan McAuley, 3rd place. Still some good points for Dan tonight, isn't it, really, if he finishes there?
Yeah, I think he'll take a 3rd place after the issues that he had in the first race of the night. It's not really what he wants, is it? He wants to be winning races. This Team Mad battle again flares up side by side through turns 2 and 3. They are not giving anyone an inch.
Just looking up and down the timing screen at the moment just to see who's setting the world alight. The closest 2 cars on track are actually Maciej Sakovic and his teammate Ashley Blake Hood at the moment for Team Mad.
It looks like we've started the last lap of the race, Chaz.
Have indeed. And Josh Thompson, I believe, is going to be the first guy to do the double in the series, if that's not a commentator's curse. We've got CQR Club cars 3rd, 4th and 5th at the moment. But Jon Robertson
there's been an incident.
Oh,
coming onto the back straight, Ashley Blake Hood.
And his teammate, Maciej, I think. We'll have a quick look. Very, very quick look at what happened to Ashley Blake Hood. Oh, Billy Rose involved, I think. We'll have to have a look back at that one, because Josh Thompson is about to come through the final corner. And on his debut in the series, he's going to make it 2 for 2. Josh Thompson takes the win. Fantastic stuff from Josh. Jon Robertson, 2nd place. Dan McAuley will be happy with 3rd after a terrible race 1, really, for his title defence, or his sort of championship lead defence. Pete Newman, another sort of under-the-radar 4th place. Very well done. Jake Blackhall will be happy to have recovered to 5th. Ben Gregory, probably the most eventful race out of everyone there, 6th, not too far behind. Jon Roberts, drifting through the final corner, onto the grass he goes. He'll cross the line in 7th place ahead of number 8. In 8th place, Maciej Sakovic. And his teammate, Ashley Blake Hood. We're going to go and have a look back at what happened there. So here he is. He's going into the last corner. Oh, Maciej put... Right, okay. This is an interesting one. I'm going to watch this again, but in slow-mo. So they're coming into the final corner. And Billy Rose is slow in front of them into the last corner. Ash gets on the brakes. Maciej hits the back of him. Ash goes round the outside of Billy, but as Maciej hits Billy, he hits him into his teammate and he spins him around. So it's a bit of a messy one, unfortunately, from those boys there.
Yeah, that's a very bizarre incident, isn't it?
Yeah, very strange indeed. But hopefully they... well, we'll have a word with both of them after this, shall we? Just stir the pot a little bit. So, for the 2nd time this evening, I will bring you the race results. Josh Thompson wins 2 out of 2. Fantastic to see. First guy in the history, the very short history of this championship to do so. Jon Robertson finishes in 2nd place. Dan McAuley in 3rd gets a podium tonight. Pete Newman, fantastic debut on the series there for 4th place in both races, I believe. Jake Blackhall 5th with Ben Gregory in 6th. Jon Roberts is 7th. Maciej Sakovic in the number 8 car is 8th. Ashley Blake Hood stays in 9th after that incident. Josh Rayfield rounds out your top 10. Billy Rose is 11th. Taylor Lane is 12th, and unfortunately Steve Burke did not take the start in that one. So what we're going to do is have a quick chat with a couple of the drivers then. I'm going to turn this very loud music down. I think I may have overdone that slightly. I'll let you make the first call, Lance Shifty. What are we going to bring in?
I would like to speak to Jon Roberts, but also our race winner from this evening.
Yes, we will. I think it is very suitable to speak to the man himself. Josh, 2 out of 2, mate. Fantastic stuff to see tonight. Very well done.
Yeah, thanks, guys. quite shocked actually. Went a lot better than I thought, but yeah, take 2 out of 2. Can't really complain with the first round for me.
And what do you reckon with the battling with Dan and Jon Robertson? We're just looking at it on screen now. It looked like a really, really good scrap.
It's nothing like you ever do in official, or because obviously you don't get this car on tracks. So obviously these cars, like what you've done with the damage off, it gives us a little bit more leeway. So obviously you can like afford to have it side by side so much. You're at tight corners, and yeah, like I said in the sim, probably some of the most fun I've had in a long.
Well, we're glad that you're involved in it, mate. It's great to see that the results came your way, and obviously you showing that pesky McAuley how to drive the Subaru tonight. I mean, Jon Robertson, he's a quick boy and all, though, isn't he?
Yeah, Dan messaged me saying, "Oh, Fiesta's fastest again," because obviously Jake put on pole. So obviously that's not gone particularly well for him, and I heard you say on the broadcast. And yeah, John, it's good having someone like that because obviously I know how it's quite nice because obviously him being so good in the actual official rallycross, whereas I think I've got a bit more advantage on the road side. So obviously like 1.5 and 1/2. So obviously track side for me, car side for him. I think he just balanced it out, and hopefully we can have some more great racing.
Yeah, fingers crossed, mate. Well, we'll hopefully see you next time round.
Yep.
And next time on the 27th of May. Apparently we're at Virginia International Raceway at what they call their Patriot layout, but I don't know if we'll get 16 or even 10 cars there, so that may change. But yeah, hopefully
there'll be some other tracks.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you next time, buddy.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers. And we've got someone else who actually wants to come in for an interview as well. He's actually been waiting in the interview room. It's Billy Rose from Northern Lights.
No.
Good evening, Billy.
Good evening, yeah, we doing?
Yeah, very good, mate. Did you enjoy that? It looked like the results didn't quite go your way, but looked like fun.
No, it was, that's probably actually considering Brands Hatch was fun, that was even more fun. Me and Josh, I think, had the biggest drifting session I think I've ever had, to be honest with you. That was absolutely cracking fun.
Well, I'm going to take a quick look at some of it now, actually. We've got you on screen
no.
as you're drifting around. I'm not sure whether this is part of your drifting sesh, but...
There's some good side-by-sides of me and Josh, and we both had some pretty big drifting, like, where we didn't contact each other, and then there was a lot of contact.
Well, as long as you got the balance right, it's all right. You can see you doing a bit of rally crossing now on the...
yeah, that's what they're built for, man. That's what they're built for. There's no point all this touring. Psh, I don't know what you're talking about. It's all about going literally sideways around every corner.
Well, it looked like you had a good laugh out there, mate. Shifty, any questions from you about tonight, really?
Yeah, I just wanted to know what you thought of the track selection for tonight. Do you think it just any good fun?
Yeah, I think it definitely promotes the rear end wanting to go out. There was, to be honest with you, I've had a busy evening and I had 5 minutes practice. Honestly, I bought the track and literally downloaded it, and for about 5 minutes in, so that's probably why race one that's why I basically off the pace. But I don't really care because it was just so me and Josh had great fun. We had our own little Discord and we were just absolutely flying sideways through every bend. But no, it was a good track. I really enjoyed that. I think I've raced here a couple of times, but not like that. That was just great fun. Again, it was like Brands Hatch. It's just a track that promotes a lot of wanting to go sideways, basically, especially when you just pop a little bit of the handbrake. Only takes a little bit, and this thing just wants to go sideways.
Well, we're really glad you enjoyed it, mate. It was great to watch, and well, we're not sure if next week's track will work yet. We've got a bit of testing to do, so
what
we
is
shall.
it?
It was going to be Virginia International Patriot layout, which is a tiny track with a pit lane that I think only houses about 3 or 4 cars. But we'll see whether it works.
Right. Okay, we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll be able to get it sideways. So.
Oh yeah.
Either way, it's definitely going to be another fun evening. I've loved it. Honestly, I have to thank you, Chaz, for these because these evenings are brilliant. It's just a good way to sort of unwind in racing, like if you know what I mean. Like as a way of just enjoying racing instead of being all serious all the time.
Yeah.
And like, tomorrow we got the MX-5s, which obviously we've got to be a lot more serious about. And you can't exactly be going sideways like this. So I wish I could in the MX-5s, but it's damn impossible once you get the rear end out in them. They just, you're going round, honestly. They're terrifying.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, mate. It is a real pleasure to watch it and sort it all out. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
And we'll see you next
week. Thank you very
week,
much, Chaz. Yeah, definitely.
Cheers.
See you later.
Smashing stuff. And, well, upon your request, of course, Christian, we'll bring in Mr. Jon Robertson. And, I'll leave you in the very capable hands, John, of Mr. Christian Rose.
Hi. Good evening, John. Looked like very interesting moments out there on track tonight, especially in that second race. Ended up with 7th place, but not without its incident.
Yeah, it was a bit of an eventful one. I think I hit about at least 3 beetles during the course of that one.
And they all seem to be around blind corners as well.
Yeah, and they were sort of facing towards me and then sort of hit me as I went past, which is kind of nice. But I managed to survive completely, so that was quite nice.
Other than that, your pace looked really good. Looked like you're having a few good battles out there. Must be really happy with some decent results tonight.
Yeah, I actually went better tonight than I expected. I've been slightly off the pace in the first couple of rounds, but I'm not usually a great fan of Barber, if I'm honest. But in these, with a bit of handbrake, it's lovely.
Yeah, it looked like fun, to be fair. From what we've been watching up here, the moments that you've had ahead of you with the team Mad Boys getting turned around and having incidents with Ben Gregory, I think you clipped both of them both times, and I said halfway through that I was surprised the back of that boosted car wasn't brown rather than mine green, because it was a proper moment, wasn't it?
Oh, it probably was, and I think I had another one with the NLR boys on the first couple of laps. They were pulling some epic drifts on the first couple of corners. I was just sort of sat there and just managed to get it up the inside as Josh whacked the handbrake on. But epic fun tonight. I enjoyed that.
Good stuff, mate. Well, really glad to hear it, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
Yeah, I don't know where we are though.
Virginia, apparently, but
Oh God.
I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I might need a bit of practice for that one.
Cracking. Well, all the best, mate, and we'll speak to you next time round.
So thanks for running this. It's really rather good fun.
No worries. Cheers, mate. Glad you enjoy it.
In a bit.
Smashing stuff. Well, thanks. Well, I've said that at the end of each interview now. Just final words, Shifty, from you. First night, obviously, commentating with me on this tonight, and what did you reckon overall?
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. The races flew by. There was never a dull moment. Some absolutely fantastic side-by-side racing that you'd normally expect from this wonderful little championship that you've got going here, Chaz. And finally, just thanks for having me in the commentary box. It's been fantastic fun. No,
not a problem, mate. It's been good to finally do this. We had been talking about doing it for a while, and here we are. Yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it? You've got to have fun with iRacing sometimes. It is a very serious sim, of course. We can't take that away, but it's good to see that people can enjoy it as much as these guys are enjoying this. And like Billy said, it's a way to unwind, isn't it? So you've got to find the fun side of these things sometimes to make sure you still enjoy it.
Oh, for sure. You know, these rallycross cars are fun, whatever you do with them.
Yeah.
Even if it's the official rallycross, you always come out of a race thinking, yeah, that was really good fun.
Yeah.
But especially on the circuit, it's very, very unique. And yeah, you know, we've all seen from the action tonight just how much fun it is.
Yeah, definitely. And the phrase we've been chucking around for last week has been "blork racing" from the old Superbike commentary. If you don't know that video, you need to go and check out the 2009, is it? British Superbikes final lap?
Yeah, the final at Brands Hatch, yes, Tommy Hill winning the championship.
Yeah.
On the line by 6 thousandths of a second or something like that. But yeah, proper blorks racing.
Blorks racing, the commentators say. It's brilliant to watch. Well, thank you everybody for watching tonight. It's been a pleasure to do this once again. And we will catch you at the same time next week for what will hopefully be Virginia International Raceway. And if not, then I'll have made a tit of myself and we'll have to change the track. But from me and from Christian, thank you very much. And we'll see you next time round.